Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the C Kappa Invitational Grand Finals. Game number 2 of Fnatic versus Sig.Trust set to get underway. Sig.Trust taking game 1 in convincing fashion. Some brilliant execution across the board. I'm Zyori, joined again by Mott coming into game 2. Mott, baby, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. This looks to be shaping up to be a really good best-of-5 series. I think I can speak for everybody in saying that I really want this to go to 5 games because the amount of play and the standard of play that we saw in that first game was pretty damn high. So if we could see that type of play throughout the entirety of the series, I would be more than happy. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really, you don't expect Fnatic to get 3-0'd by Sig.Trust. You expect them to take at least one game off of this team, and we'll see if that's going to be the case. If Sig.Trust, however, get a 2-0 advantage, that could lead to some pretty big problems for Fnatic's side. So it comes down to the draft again. It comes down to making sure they get that Doom right out of the way from the get-go, and that seems to be the case.
Yeah, there's a few things about this draft that I like. I like that Fnatic stick with the Enchantress again. We saw DJ play very well in game number 1, that fun Benny Hill style at the beginning, but that joke aside, he also had a really good early game presence. He was very active, found a lot of kills, and they're going to stick with what they know. I am a little bit scared, though, against the Earth Spirit. Jabs plays the Earth Spirit, and he plays it damn well. I think almost every time I've seen Sig.Trust play Earth Spirit, he has had a good game. Even if it's been a match they didn't end up winning, he's always had a really good presence early on. He'll go for that early Orb of Venom, roam around, and just try to set up ganks everywhere. Yeah. And in the mid-game, this hero is just so hard to deal with. The Magnetize does a ridiculous amount of damage. And if he finds some kills with it, Veil of Discord is a natural great item on him. And guess who else likes Veil of Discord? Ding, 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 this guy. Super Mario there. They're already gearing up for a heavy magic damage draft. I like this.
I think my pro is felt so comfortable on that hero that there's no reason not to pick it up, honestly. I think Zeus is a really good choice for them. And like you talked about, the combination of the Earth Spirit and the Zeus together with the Veil of Discord is very strong. I will say this. If Fnatic can avoid the Earth Spirit in terms of maybe surviving a couple of rolling boulder ganks or at least getting through and making sure that they can stop him from leveling by getting kills, I think they'll be in a good spot because the Earth Spirit, he has a couple of weird power curves. He's very strong at the beginning of the game. And then he's a little bit weak for a couple of levels, maybe from like level 3 to 5. I wouldn't say weak. If he's behind, he's weak. And if he gets to 6, that's when it gets really strong, obviously, with the Magnetize. It gets very good. But if you could avoid those first couple of ganks, and in turn make it so that he's lacking on experience, you'll be in a very good spot. And he doesn't have that same luxury of being able to head into the jungle and take it like Enchantress does, where he can't get that experience. The Air Spirit can, however. Or, excuse me, the Enchantress can.
Yeah, and I do like the Puck pick against Earth Spirit. Puck is just pretty hard to gank in general, very elusive hero, survivable, and I don't think it will be easy for the Earth Spirit to pick on him. Compared to, like, Earth Spirit versus Zeus, for example. That's a hero that he can do a lot of damage to, especially in those first couple levels before Zeus has a lot of damage out on the field. He's so easy to pick on and harass.
Right.
Next round of bans making some sense, though. That prized Medusa for Sig.Trust will be banned out. Good call there from Fnatic. And Sven Spectre taken out by Sig.Trust. So just 2 very popular carries on this patch. We haven't seen Sven yet today, but I think we all know what that guy's capable of. My God.
Yeah. That's the good thing about Sven is just it's so easy for you to farm, and you really do need that lead in net worth. You have to have that 2 to 3K advantage in order to be super effective, in order to be able to take the game. If you're even in net worth with the other carry, you're generally not in a good spot. But yeah, I mean, Sven has just been so popular recently. It's been one of the most popular carry heroes. There still are so many available in the pool, and we sometimes see a lot of crazy things, but one thing that Fnatic have been picking a lot of is Gyrocopter in particular. They picked, I think, Ember Spirit to a certain extent, Lifestealer, which was a choice from that. I don't think it was played in the carry role, but Gyrocopter is something they play a ton of. Lone Druid, which has been banned out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gyrocopter come out from net. I also wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Ursa, which they've played before as well. So, but they go for the Jug instead. They clearly want to go for this here once more, and I guess it's pretty good against Earth Spirit and Zeus, so I guess why not pick it up? But
yeah, I was thinking Nature's Prophet could be an option they consider as well. It's another hero they like to go for. Fnatic is one of few teams that will still occasionally run an all-in push strat, like that old school, it's 12 minutes, and we have taken a lane of your barracks. Like, they go Chen, Prophet, sometimes Drow, but really heavy push. Usually if they can get the Invoker, I think that is one of the key heroes that unlocks that whole... If they can get Invoker Chen, then they'll go for it. But obviously, Invoker taken out here, and it's not so common that it gets handed over. But I don't think they'll go for Prophet here. They need some more control. Right now, Puck is like their only team fight, somewhat control. Enchant and Jug have great damage, but definitely lacking on the stuns.
I wouldn't be surprised to see either team pick up the Nature's Prophet, especially right here if you're Sig.Trust. You have a mid laner, you have the support, could use that offlaner, and Nature's Prophet is not a bad choice. Also, Beastmaster is available, so it comes down to which do you prefer and which do you prefer giving up to Fnatic. Not to say that Fnatic will go for either of those heroes, but there's a good chance, there's at least a 50% chance they go for at least one of them.
Yeah.
They go for the Beastmaster. I mean, it's just good. It's really good to get that Necro 3 out, and the amount of damage that you pump out is insane.
Yeah.
It is tough to go up against something like a Jug, another support, and an Enchantress. That's not a hard lane, or that's not an easy lane. So an Iron Talon might have to be the choice for the Beastmaster, or he could just try to leech experience and stay alive as best as possible.
I like the vision synergy, though, man. They've got a lot of scouting tools here between these three heroes. It's really good.
We'll see. I mean,
10 seconds
yeah, the Beastmaster Hawk is going to be super useful, and the Zeus will be able to just throw down Zeus ults and try to find kills. They can try to find kills with the Earth Spirit and the Zeus jumping in, and yeah, the global presence again is something that they're going to get. Not only that, they can get somebody. They can get a hero who gets bots into the safe lane. They can just TP on some of these boars or some of these hawks. But is it going to be the Furion for Fnatic, or are they going to pick something else? You talked about the lack of control, and I kind of agree with you. And they'll pick up the Venge, which is definitely some control. I mean, it's
I like that against Zeus in particular. If you can swap him into harm's way, we've talked about it a lot. He's a hero that really relies on good positioning. He has huge damage, but he's definitely a glass cannon. I think Venge is one of the better supports to try and capitalize on that potential weakness. Easier said than done, though, for sure.
I think this is going to mean that the Nature's Prophet should get banned, or I don't know. It's a pretty good team fight, and it's good push, but I'm not sure if they want to go for the hero. I would in this situation just because of how popular the hero is and how good the hero is, but Fnatic might have another idea as to what they want to put what they want their offlaner to be. It could be even theoretically the Enchantress. I doubt that's the case because the Enchantress is more often than not played in the support role now. But that's a good choice. Yeah, that's going to stop some of the pushing presence as the Frostbite will take down the Enchantress.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking more about the mana aura. I mean, every team benefits from that extra mana regen, but some heroes really benefit from it. I think Zeus and Beastmaster are two pretty high ones on my list. Beastmaster notoriously low in terms of mana. He has a lot of spells that he can use, but now he can spam out boars, throw axes more regularly. And Zeus, I mean, obviously the benefits are great in the laning stage. A lot more chain lightnings to deal with. Could open up to go into that Aether Lens, right away instead of holding on to the Arcane Boots like we saw last game. And it also is a greedier pick that can work the jungle. Earth Spirit can roam around and try to find ganks. They're sort of assuming that the Enchantress will be in the jungle, and this gives them a way to kind of match that greed, at least in the early game, where CM can kill some of those big creeps and get some levels on her own and open up a bit more solo experience in the lanes.
Yeah, I like this choice. I think CM is easily you can deal with her very easily in this game because of Enchantress and Vengeful Spirit. However, that's the problem, is that she's squishy, so she's not particularly fast or mobile. She's going to provide at least some good spells, and obviously the Arcane Orb being that mana regeneration that you were talking about. But she has to be very aware of her positioning, because she will die very quickly, not only to those two heroes, but the Puck as well, coming with a Dream Coil, a Waning Rift, and an Illusory Orb. There's a lot of ways, and they will go for the Nature's Prophet, by the way. So,
all right,
this is good because the Furion is so strong because not only does he provide push, he provides right click. He has the treants. He has a little bit of control with Sprout, but he also has batch damage in the Nature's Wrath, which is something that a lot of people often forget about. When you get to that level 6 mark and you start fighting as a team, you can't underestimate how much damage that actually does in the middle of a team fight, especially against squishier heroes like the Crystal Maiden. Yeah. So it comes down to what do Sig want to play in their safe lane. Sven would have been a good choice, but that's been banned out. So
honestly, Morphling or Medusa would have been perfect here. I think if Medusa was in the pool, this would be an instant pick for Sig.Trust. So smart bans from Fnatic. Gyrocopter actually feels pretty tempting here. Great team fight, AoE damage. I think they want to go with a ranged carry, though I would not be surprised to see
Gyro. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gyro, but it's not a hero that I've seen Signature play too much. They go for that was the other choice I wanted to think about and talk about. Was the AM because of the Battle Fury.
They don't play him very often. I think it's a fine pick here, but it's a bit out of the comfort zone for Sig.Trust and what I've seen.
They haven't played him often recently, but Lakel's is known for, I think, his anti-mage play. He's just a hard farming carry play in particular. I mean, just talk about any safe lane farmer, and you probably think, okay, well, Lakel's can play that hero. So this is a fine choice.
I think they have the other 4 heroes that Sig.Trust have are really good at making space for an anti-mage to
Yes,
farm. Like,
I
I
would
think
agree
they can
with
do
you.
that 4+1 very effectively, gank, find kills, put pressure around the map, and more importantly, just keep vision for the anti-mage. Like, I think they'll be able to make space for Lakel's to farm, but the Fnatic push is pretty scary this game. You've got 2 different sources of healing from the Juggernaut and the Enchantress. You've got the Trance from the Prophet, and you've got a lot of good wave clear in the Puck and the Vengeful Spirit. Like, they can knock down towers pretty fast. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic goes pretty aggressive this game, and in that like 10 to 20 minute window, really try and knock down those towers and limit the space where the AM can farm.
Speaking of aggressive, we did see Fnatic go aggressive tri lane in the last game. It actually worked out pretty effectively. They stopped the farm for Lakel's. He did end up getting that farm and was able to get that phase into a drum into an urn, which was super helpful. But I don't think they go for the aggressive play this game. I'm obviously going up against an AM and a Spectre are 2 different things. AM, I think, is better in terms of being able to defend in a aggressive tri lane. Not to mention he has good heroes to do so. With jabs on the Earth Spirit can provide a lot of damage. The CM has a lot of control, so they really don't want to go aggro into this. We'll see how this is going to play out. This is going to mean that the AM should be able to get pretty good farm, probably free farm, and if he doesn't get ganked or taken down, he should have a pretty early Battle Fury, something about 15 minutes or so. Unless Midwood can find a couple of good runes, they can get a gank roaming in with the Nature's Prophet as well. I mean, they have ways to bring down this anti-mage, but it's going to be difficult. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I think you're definitely right. I would be surprised if Anti-Mage doesn't find good farm in the first 10 minutes of the laning phase, no doubt. I think Fnatic actually has to 5-man and push a bit earlier rather than later. If they just go defensive, we'll get farm, you get farm, I'd be a little bit more scared of the Anti-Mage than the Juggernaut in this scenario with the supporting lineups. Like, I don't know that Fnatic really want to go ultra late game here. That doesn't really sound like fun to me.
Oh, that would be
The good thing is that at least they have one silence coming out from the Puck, and until the Manta comes out, I'm sure they're going to get the Orchid as well in the Nature's Prophet. So
yeah,
it's going to come down to the timing for the AM's items. Obviously, Vlad's will be a pretty good choice, I think, this game for split push. I would almost prefer if Sig.Trust had a Nature's Prophet instead of a Beastmaster. That you can make even more space with that than you can with the Beastmaster, just because of how mobile he is, how he can split push with his treants. But both choices are fine. It's going to be very interesting. Ohio, I don't think he'll miss out on too much farm unless they really try to stop him and send all 3 heroes down to this bottom lane. He doesn't have a ward either, which is interesting. I'm not sure if he put one down and it got dewarded or if he just doesn't have one. So
I didn't see any D wards, but it is possible.
They
It
only
is
have
kind of
one ward on the
peculiar
map,
that
I
he
think.
doesn't have one.
do they have? Where are the wards? I don't see any. They have one for DJ. Where's the other one? I wonder.
Uh-oh, Ohio almost gets initiated on. Jabs actually misses it, and DJ rotates down right away. He'll trade some right clicks and actually
Maybe
put a lot of
Shan.
damage into the Earth Spirit
Yeah, they
for
can maybe
his
kill him.
insolence. Oh, Treants, a couple of good body blocks here, and it's possible. But no,
He has no
AM.
regen whatsoever, by the way. And Lakel's is taking a heck of an amount of damage as well. He has to blink out. So suddenly, this aggro dual lane, as it's turned into, is starting to pump out some damage. This is, by the way, without a null tally for Nature's Prophet. The amount of damage he was pumping in is pretty damn good with just boots.
Yeah.
This is very dangerous for this tri lane.
It's a good read here. This tri-lane for Sig.Trust is very squishy in these early levels. All 3 of these heroes are paper thin, anti-mage, very low starting armor, Crystal Maiden, same kind of a deal, and the Earth Spirit. He actually is the highest of the 3 of them with a humble 3.4 physical armor. So those right clicks do really add up. It's a good read to move the Enchantress down and put her in the jungle, steal some of that farm from the Crystal Maiden potentially, and just be like an arm's reach away if Ohio gets initiated on. I just wanted to point out, it's interesting to see the cosmetics Ohio's using. He has a Nature's Prophet set, and he's just using the classic set with a really badass flowering weapon. Kind of peculiar. He's like gone so full
got the
meta that
scythe.
his own set isn't in style anymore.
He's got the scythe up, ready to go for the Nature's Prophet. I love that scythe, by the way. That's my favorite item in the entire game. But
It's so sick.
I remember when that thing was so expensive, but they have different versions of it now. It's not quite as expensive. By the way, Boombell is able to frostbite the Centaur Conqueror. Have to deny that. That's the biggest problem with DJ. Good shockwave, though, by the way. It does a lot of damage to jabs and just chasing down the Satyr Tormentor. Which does, by the way, provide that unholy aura. Boombell actually got blocked by the range creep, but he should still stay alive. Takes another...
The
frickin'
Satyr's
beast
doing
counter
work,
shock.
dude.
Yeah, this thing's zoning, and I can't take my eyes off of this bottom lane because it's actually going pretty damn well for Fnatic, all things considered.
I feel like a fight could erupt at any moment. Boombell's going to use the last of his mana to finish off that Satyr Tormentor. He might be able to get one more shockwave, but no, not quite. The Enchantress did manage to deny both those creeps, though, so DJ managing himself very well, putting pressure on, but not feeding away too much extra money. I guess a little bit of experience with the deny, but nothing too crazy.
The Nature's Prophet is getting more out of this lane than the Beastmaster is. That's not shocking to me as a ranged hero. Beastmaster is good regen. He has 2 Fairy Fires and a couple of Tangos in itself. So even if he gets caught in a bad spot, he should still be able to survive against these 2 heroes.
Yeah.
It's only when there's a rotation from either Nature's Prophet or from DJ that this is going to be troublesome for Beastmaster.
Yeah, and they're
so
definitely
he can stay in lane.
They're definitely different as off laners. Like Beastmaster is really happy just getting experience until he hits level 6. Farm is great, but experience is the name of the game. Nature's Prophet, he's a little bit more interested in the farm, honestly. Experience is great, but he wants to be able to get those items off. Ohio really likes to go for that right-click centric build. You mentioned Orchid, and I think that's very likely here. Like Phase Boot, Drum, Orchid could be the build that he ends up going for. It's really well-rounded, lets you split push a bit, but when you join team fights, he actually plays almost that carry-like role where the auto attacks really hurt. Top lane, 3-4-3. Taking some damage here against Abba. He'll throw out the magic missile, but in comes Jabs. They're going to turn it around the other way. First blood will be drawn on the Vengeful Spirit, but Blade Fury doing a lot of damage. FIFA Friday's in town as Jab kicks him, pops that salve, and it might be enough to keep him alive. Net trying to get that auto attack off. He doubles back. That'll be the end of his salve. And now Ohio teleports in to join the party, going for Abba, but they might not even get him. Jab's boulder rolls away, and the 2 will survive. Oh my, what fancy footwork in the trees.
Yeah, Abba just uses Fairy Fires immaculately. I mean, that is exactly what I was talking about when I talked about regen. That's first blood. That should have really been a kill going Fnatic's way and not losing a single hero in the process. And that's gigantic for the Beastmaster. It gets him up to his boots plus 300 gold on top of that. I mean, I think it was Jabs that actually got the kill. So he's in the end the one that's getting the more amount of money. He's got his boots now. He's got 300 gold. He's able to TP. He only is level 2, so it doesn't provide that much experience. But that's a little bit of a roadblock for Fnatic. And now they're going to go into Ohio bottom lane as they get the Boulder Smash, Rolling Boulder in. And he is dead, it looks like. The Kells will come through. He's got no blink for 6, but the Crystal Nova will come out. They can't find this kill in the AM. And so suddenly 2 quick kills with the rotation. It's the Earth Spirit again getting off to a fast start once more. That's
the power of this tri-lane right here. I mean, even though they are a little bit squishy in terms of trading right clicks, they still have some nice burst and lockdown to take somebody down like that.
Mid.
Oh, maybe they're going to get the Zeus. It's a 2-on-1. Stun from the Venge on the way. Relocate from the Prophet. Well, teleport rather, but still 3-on-1. Not much the Zeus can do in that scenario. And finally, Fnatic get up on the scoreboard. Much needed gank there, I think.
Yeah, and I think Ohio got there in time in order to get the assist goal on. Yeah, he did. He got the sprout off, I believe. Or
a little extra experience there, too.
Yeah, so some extra golden experience going the way of 3 heroes. They'll apply pressure on the tier 1 tower mid. You can see rotating over already is Jabs. He'll try to pull the creep wave off the tower. He's not doing a great job of it so far. They shouldn't be able to get this, especially with the Zeus rotating back in, but they do put some pressure there.
Nice damage on that tier 1 tower. You mentioned it in the last game. That mid tier 1 is one of the most important. It's that access point to Roche and kind of opens up the jungle a bit. So getting it down to half health this early on, I think Fnatic will be pretty happy with. Puck is having a good time in the mid lane as well. About 5 last hits above the Zeus, but having a great time. Level 6, has a double damage rune, and great start for the Fairy Dragon.
And the double damage is going to be kind of interesting, but my pro is already pumping out a lot. He's got his Zeus ult, by the way, so they need to be careful. Anywhere on the map, you get caught out and you're in some trouble. The AM is going to go toe-to-toe with Ohio. He's level 5, and Ohio is level 5 as well. So AM's about to get that mana void. He's got his Ring of Health. Doesn't have his treads yet. The farm's okay, but it's not the best. Now Boulder Smash mid one is dead, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a misplay, man. He uses the orb aggressively. Of course they see it. And the second that happens, my pro does as much damage as possible, pings it out, Jabs rotates, and there's nothing the puck can do. If you use your getaway card to initiate, then, well, you can't get away when the damage gets too much.
Yeah, he couldn't lose your orb out. It was 2 seconds on cooldown when he ended up dying, and Jabs' rotations have provided him almost enough for Arcanes at this point, which is gigantic. And you talked about the threat of Jabs in the Earth Spirit. It is coming to a realization at this point. The one thing they haven't taken care of is Net in the top lane, who continues to get good farm. He's 13 CS ahead of the anti-mage. He's got Phase. He's looking probably to get a wand next. No Aquila, no poor main shield. We'll see what he decides to build into. His Battle Fury last game. Might go for Battle Fury this game. Or might decide to go for a more orally oriented build as DJ and 343 will smoke, and looks like they'll head mid.
I mean, if you want to look at metrics about how well this Earth Spirit is doing, just compare him to the Enchantress. I mean, she has been roaming a lot this game, moving in the enemy jungle, but she's level 5, the jungler who's been pressured very little. The Earth Spirit's actually out-farming her right now in raw net worth, and a lot of that's just come from these rotations. The smoke up top will wrap around onto Abba, and this should be an easy kill on the Beastmaster. 3-on-1 with the Satyr Tormentor. Not too much he could do as they dive past deep the tower.
And they'll put some pressure on another tier 1. Again, they could defend. They could send some heroes up there, but that means that there's other areas where, you know, you're a little bit you don't feel as safe. Like the anti-mage down bottom can start getting pressured by a couple of heroes. Plus, they're pushing mid, and they actually get that tier 1 tower with Ohio, and that's going to provide the majority of his drum. He'll have the brace already up. TP will come out top, and it's going to get canceled because there's no creep wave there. That would have been an Omni Slash and an easy kill. He's like, hold on a second. Wait, I'm not crazy. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
So they get 2 tier 1s, man, right after one after the other. That's an insane amount of farm that you just get, plus... You know,
and both of them went down to heroes. So Net and Ohio both getting the benefits of the last hit on a tower. And we're 8 minutes in, and the push is not stopping for Fnatic. They're now grouped up as 5 at this tier 2 top. The glyph has been reset. Sig holding on to it for now, but they are not in fighting shape. Zeus is the only hero who's level 6 with an ultimate. So they just can't fight. They have no primal roar. This is space for anti-mage to farm, so they'll take that. But losing a tier 2 this early on definitely hurts. The tier 2 in the top is one of the least important access points in terms of relative towers for the Radiant side, but still, like you mentioned, big gold boost going the way of Fnatic. If you look at this graph now, it's about a 3,500 net worth lead. Not too shabby for 9 minutes in.
And all of that gold comes from the hero kills plus most importantly, the tower pickups, which is exactly what you talked about. Sure, the tier 2 tower top lane, not that important, but when it comes down to eclipsing the anti-mage at farm and having a good start, Ned is in a great position. He's top of the net worth. Puck is 1,000 away from his blink dagger, and he's having good farm. Now there's a smoke bottom. It looks like Ohio is going to get caught. Crystal Nova, Frostbite, they have the mana void. They'll probably use it to get the kill, and it'll be Lakel's picking up a last hit. And now he's up to 2,000 gold, and his Battle Fury is starting to get further and further into completion. By the way, the Zeus was in a bad spot. He TP's out top lane. So that's a great pickup, and it won't lead into the tower for now as Net TP's down there, but that will provide Lakel's at least a Perseverance and a Broadsword. So his Battle Fury will be completed about 12 minutes or so without treads. That's actually very good timing. And we talked about free farm. He's in a good spot now.
That was a really big kill, actually. Before that Nature's Prophet died, the anti-mage was about 1,000 net worth behind the Jug after all those towers fell. And now with that kill, it's not that big of a gap. We'll see drums now come out on the Juggernaut, so not rushing the Battle Fury as Lakel's is. And it's not all bad for Sig.Trust. Sure, they're behind right now, but they're just not in fighting shape. Another few minutes here as those ultimates come out, and I think we'll see a much different scenario, especially with the Earth Spirit. He's halfway through level 5. Once he gets magnetized, Sig.Trust will actually be able to fight. My Pro, though, he walks into the wrong place at the wrong time. Dream Coil gets deployed, and DJ picks up another one for the Dire.
Yeah, that's not great. And on top of that, well, DJ might end up falling here, and they give the gold away to Lakel's. That wouldn't be great. Nature's Wrath will come through. We might even think about TPing in. Mana Void goes, but it's going to be Jabs picking up the kill with the Rolling Boulder.
1 for 1. I think it's still a pretty good trade for Fnatic. They killed the
lose
Zeus
the tier
for
1
their
tower
support
bottom, though.
Enchantress. Oh, wow. Okay, great trade for Fnatic. My God. 1 for 1. They kill the mid, and they get a free tower out of it. That's incredible.
I think there was a ward here as well, or somewhere. They have this one here, so they saw the Zeus walking up. I think the other one got countered. I think it was up on the cliff there. I'm pretty sure it got countered. So that was the trade-off, is they get the kill onto the Zeus, but they lose a ward in the process. And of course, the tier 1 tower going down is very important because this is what we were talking about. The tier 1 and tier 2 tower top, fine, you can let that go. But the tier 1 and tier 2 tower bottom, especially in the bottom lane, is huge. I mean, that you start putting wards down in the jungle, and all of a sudden, you're the anti-mage. Where do you farm? You kind of have to split push, which is what he's doing now.
Yeah.
So
Fnatic are really taking control of this game. This is exactly how they need to execute against a team like this. They know Lakel's needs space, and this is just unrelenting push. There's only 1 outer tower remaining for Sig.Trust at the 11.5-minute mark. And you look at the net worth graph, yeah, Anti-Mage is keeping up, but the rest of this Radiant team is so far behind. Vengeful Spirit is the only one that's down at that level of net worth that's on the Dire side. And it's because somebody's got to play that sacrificial 5 support. DJ gets Primal Roar in the top lane. The Dryad gets caught, and yeah, that's going to be an easy one for the Radiant. There is a TP rotation, though, from the Jug, and it looks like the Venge is on the way as well. Level 8 with an Omni Slash available. I think ambitious to try and find a kill here, 2 on 4, but maybe they're looking for some TP interrupts. Down bottom, Ohio trying to split push, and well, it looks like things will just peter out into more defensive farming here.
They could have brought in the Nature's Prophet, but again, it would have been a 3 versus 4 instead of a 2 versus 4. And mid one, he also had a TP, and he just picked up his Blink Dagger, and I'm pretty sure that's why he was too busy kind of getting the Blink and worrying about that rather than wanting to fight or defend top. I mean, the big thing is, yeah, they lose the hero, but they save their tower, and they make sure they don't give any free gold away to Sig.Trust. And Lakel's has his Battle Fury now completed. The treads will come here shortly thereafter. So it is that 12-minute Battle Fury like I talked about. Yeah. It's probably going to be 13 to 14-minute treads. And from that point on, and this is exactly what we saw in the last game with the Spectre. The Spectre has a sort of rough start and then transitions very effectively into a big team fight and nets himself a couple of kills. And then he's the one leading the way and paving the way in terms of net worth. And Fnatic have to do whatever they can to stop that from happening, and one of the best ways to do that is to split push and to push down towers as a whole. So they're only missing out on that one tier 2 tower mid, and I can guarantee you that pretty soon they will probably look for that tower, as they have a pretty big net worth advantage now.
Yeah, no doubt. And even though Fnatic are executing this very well now, this is only the first 15 minutes of the game, and things could still go awry. If they get wiped in a team fight, if they dive a little bit too deep, Sig.Trust can very easily close this gap, and they will get a lot of comeback mechanic gold, as they like to call it. Breaking high ground, a completely different beast from knocking down these outer towers during the laning stage. So Fnatic still has a ways to go before this one's in the bag. And look at this, man. Sig.Trust are smoked up. They're ready to intercept these Ancients.
Oh, Ohio might get caught. Boombell's just not close enough. Very good movement, and I think they even enchanted the Hawk as well, which gives them some extra help. Now TPing out, Boombell might be able to make it away. Dreamcoil would have to go. They're looking for jabs, and they'll find him with the Dreamcoil.
Okay.
It's not what they wanted, but I mean, Sig.Trust, it's awkward whenever a smoke blows up in your face, and it's exactly what happened, and Ohio gets a killing spree now. And this is going to provide them roast because of how much damage they have early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's far from ideal, Mod, don't get me wrong, but I think Sig.Trust are okay with temporary space. Dreamcoil being used just to kill an Earth Spirit, that's an okay trade if it means the anti-mage is free farming. Now they're probably going to have to hand over Roche. This one hurts. I'm curious who they'll give the Aegis to. I guess most likely it'll be Net on the Juggernaut, so he can be nice and aggressive with his positioning. And he does have the close to maxed out healing ward, just a value point in the Blade Dance. So he is ready to fight, man. The maxed out healing ward, well, 3 points in it. So good for these 5-man pushes this early on.
He's ready to fight, but he also has the ability to come back with the Battle Fury as he's building that up with the Perseverance now. So he's going for, and Ohio has done the same. He's picked up a Midas. So they clearly, they thought, okay, we're going to push and we're going to be aggressive early, but they're not building in such a way that is going to mean that they're going to take this game by 20 minutes. They're building in such a way that they'll be able to come back
or
prepared. Even have later game abilities and just be, like you said, prepared for that. They picked up book 1. There's a lot of good vision here for the Beastmaster. They're going to find DJs. A smoke up between 2 heroes. It's going to be the Frostbite, and Boombell is about to get TP'd on. Here comes mid 1. And no more. He has the Dreamcoil actually up, and Boombell has to TP out. I don't think he's going to make it away, sadly. It's a good effort. And meanwhile, they will lose the Earth Spirit on the other side. He's rolling bouldered away right into Net's arms with the usage of that Omni Slash. Yeah, that's not great.
An awkward fight for Sig.Trust, and for last game we talked about how it seems like they're usually on the same page and have a game plan. That was a scenario where it seemed like they were indecisive about whether or not they wanted to commit to a team fight or not, and they ended up delta splitting, and unfortunately it did cost 2 kills. And looking at the goal graph, man, it's still rolling for Fnatic. Things have not plateaued yet. Nearly that 5-figure lead, getting close to the 10,000 net worth lead mark, and experience tells probably the more accurate story of how the game's actually progressing. About 4 or 5K experience lead there, and a lot of that's coming from the towers, of course. It's 5-0 in tower count, so that's where a lot of that Fnatic gold lead is coming from.
Ohio just deep into a world of hurt. Jabs is nearby. He's got a boulder smash, but it's really more the rest of the team that was chasing after him. MyPro and Boombell couldn't quite get there. I feel like for Sig.Trust, it's a game of, okay, how much gold do we lose before the AM comes online? Is it effective and able to team fight? Like, that's the biggest problem. They just keep losing these heroes. And if they just stayed even, if they just farmed and they didn't lose these heroes, they'd probably be in an okay spot. It's like the Zeus hasn't been doing as much as he did last game. Sure, he's picked up the Veil now, which is huge for team fighting. But, I feel as if Sig.Trust have just let too much go. Again, the Beastmaster's trying to split push, but he's not as good as Nature's Prophet. The CM, I don't know if it was the greatest choice. She hasn't really done much this game.
Dude, double bracer. Come on, Mod. How are you going to hate on that build?
I mean, that's probably the best thing you could get in this situation, all things considered.
Dude, I agree. Like, it's been so hard for Boombell to farm anything. Like, you got to get something to try and survive. Ohio up top, initiated on, caught by the Veil, and he's going to take a lot of damage. Magnetize comes out from jabs. Zeus has an ult here, and they definitely want to try to save it, but they might need to burn it just to secure this kill, and they will. That'll be the end of the Prophet. And maybe the Puck, mid 1, does join the fight, has the Blink Dagger.
Oh, they're really looking to go on this. Mid one's about to get destroyed if he's not careful. Good silence. Great silence.
Oh, wow.
They need vision, though.
He does have the Blink Dagger. They hit him right away, and that's a setup for Lakells. Gets off the Mana Boy, and it's another one. Now DJ on the run. It's a 4-on-2 all of a sudden. Courier will rendezvous. Net's nearby. Does have a level 2 Omni Slash. And with that, Sig.Trust will back out, but there's a wraparound. 3-4-3's there.
No.
It's Fnatic that want to take the fight. Ultimate from Crystal Maiden. Boombell with the plays to bring down the Venge. Nice heads-up read there to see that he was isolated, and it will yield a kill and end this little skirmish.
They're dying one after another. What is this? They just lose 3 heroes for nothing. Just 3-4-3 walks up and he's like, guys, I got this. Net's like nowhere nearby. He's like, I don't have a blink dagger. I can't help you. Suddenly, I mean, that gives them, it's not a ton of gold, but it's like at least 1,000 that goes the way of Sig.Trust. And Lakelz gets the majority of that gold, or at least a lot of the gold. And he's picked up already his Yasha, so he clearly wants that Manta early on here. And that's just, it's a bit of a sloppy play from Fnatic. The mid one stays too long. The rotations came out from the Radiant squad. It was just not a great play.
Pull up the replay here, and as you pointed out, it's a really good silence from Jabs to secure the kill on mid one. They lose 2. That part is just a bit unfortunate. It was a long, drawn-out fight. And then this last bit, DJ's on the defensive. 3-4-3 wraps around her. It just seems like such an ambitious play. You can see how far he had to run to get here. Net has the Aegis and the ult, so you can see why 3-4-3 went in, but just completely underestimates Boombell. He throws the stun, and it's a great read to realize, hey, there's actually nothing that's going to interrupt my ult right here unless Net Omni Slashes on me, but he's going to have to run through my ult to do that. Let's go in, boys. Back to the real game, though.
Lakelz gets brought down by a great Dream Coil silence. And now they're looking for more. Boombell's going to try to TP out. He is not making it away. The impetus damage, the crit from the blade dance for the jug. Suddenly, this turns into a tier 2 tower. That is the biggest kill they could have gotten. Lakelz going down. He is the thorn in the side of Fnatic. And now it is high ground. They will pop the drum charge. Treants will come out momentarily in 3 seconds, in fact. And 3-4-3 comes in as well.
This is rocky, Mott. Crystal Maiden down for 15. AM has a buyback here, but definitely doesn't want to use it. Zeus ult is available, as is the Magnetize.
Aegis
this
is
tower's
gone, by the
falling
way.
quick.
They know Aegis is gone.
Oh, maybe this is the opening they've been waiting for. But man, DJ just chunking back to Zeus. I think this is Elena Barracks.
I think they leave after melee. I don't know about staying. I think that's the right play.
Yeah, good call.
They took the melee. They are very happy with that. They were able to get out, losing nothing in the process. The AM did not want to have to buy back, but that's a costly death. Losing a tier 3 tower and a melee Rex. That's why this Nature's Prophet is so important, because he can split push, keep these waves out, and if they ever get a kill like that, they can always transition into a Rax, and they do just that.
Dude, and they lose their Ancients on the way out, too. It's only a double stack, but Jug takes the bulk of it, leaves one big dragon so that it can't stack up again. That really hurts. That's exactly how Fnatic need to execute these fights, though. Just get a pick off, push, and not linger around. They don't need to win the game now. They just need to keep doing good damage.
Oh, no, Lakelz not again.
Oh, no. He gets silenced, caught way too far forward, and it's just an easy setup for DJ in mid one. That hurts to watch.
Sig.Trust were setting up a smoke of their own, or at least a rotation. They had a ward there to get vision of whoever rotated up. But mid one comes through the river and hit. These past 3 minutes, he's been the MVP by getting these kills. He's picked up a Yule, so even if he gets silenced up by the Earth Spirit now, he'll be able to use it off and stay alive. And on top of that, the Nature's Prophet has picked up the Orchid. Again, the AM will have a Manta style, hopefully in the near future, but all of a sudden, this is not looking particularly good. I mean, it wasn't ever looking good for Sig.Trust. Don't kid yourselves, but it's looking even worse, Ari.
Yeah, I'm glancing at the replay here just to look at that positioning from the AM, and it is pretty unfortunate. It seems like a relatively safe spot to farm. He just doesn't have any intel of where Fnatic are, and they wander onto him. I think they did want to try to do a 5-man push into that tier 1 tower. So, unfortunate stroke of luck here for Sig.Trust. This game's starting to feel like Fnatic are going to be able to seal the deal, though, Mod. I can't lie. 14K net worth, 21 minutes in.
Yeah.
Sig.Trust are really in trouble. It feels like it's in the hands of Fnatic to throw at this point. If they throw a bad team fight, they dive into tier 4s, certainly Sig.Trust could come back. But if Fnatic continue to play this controlled, sort of slow siege style, continue to find farm on the Jug, it's just going to be hard to match up. He's really getting scary.
They just lost too much gold. They lost too much map control. They got the AM farm, and that's the trade-off, and it's not a great trade-off. And they're looking for Lakelz. They're about to find him. Should be a kill. They actually, maybe not. Everyone's behind him. They're going to go on Ohio first. There's the Magnetize, the Zeus ult. They'll bring down the Nature's Prophet here, maybe. The Magnetize will not take him down. The CM will end up falling. It's still Net in trouble, though. It is an advantageous Boulder Smash coming in. Good silence, but Net will end up falling. Lakelz will get the kill, and now 3-4-3, the lone survivor. And he will get brought down. The Mana Void provides Lakelz the double kill with the last right-click impetus. He avoids it with a Blink Dagger, and DJ will end up falling as well. A full 5-man wipe comes out. Fnatic just get destroyed. They set up for a kill bottom, but Lakelz was waiting for it, and the rest of his team was right behind him.
Look at that recap, dude. Oh my god.
That's
7K net worth.
7K, yeah. Dear
What?
God.
That is insane. The Earth Spirit got so much out of that. He got 2,400 gold from that fight.
He has 4,500. What? What do you buy? What do you buy at this point now? You get a blink? What do? You go Ags?
What happened in that fight? How did Sig.Trust take it so effectively? It looked like a pretty even exchange, and all of a sudden they just came out ahead. Well, hold that thought. Abba gets swapped aggressively, blinks forward, and yep, he'll TP home. There you go.
What happened was Puck kind of went alone, and they went in one by one on Fnatic's side. They looked for Lakelz, and they realized he was not alone. There were 3 heroes behind him. And after that happened, they backed up immediately. They decided then to say, okay, we're in. Let's fight. We can take this. Really what happened, though, was DJ wasn't there. Net wasn't able to do enough. And they just got caught in a bad spot. It really just was a positioning error is what it came down to. And now the AM is the top in net worth suddenly. And that's... Oh, I hope that does not come back to bite Fnatic in the ass, because that is one of the worst engagements you could possibly have at this stage of the game when you're so far ahead.
Watching that fight over again, you're exactly right. Fnatic were just way too spread out. The Puck jumps the gun a little bit, initiates super early. We're going to see in the real game here, Abba get ganked. It's not much he could do there, but... The way they initiated that fight was just very sloppy. The Puck ran in kind of willy-nilly. Sig turned. They lost their CM, but then they had all of their resources. And Lakelz does enough damage now that if he's left unchecked, he can actually do damage in these fights. He has the Manta style, takes a Dream Coil now. Omni Slash comes in, but Manta will keep him alive. They turn and just destroy the Juggernaut, but Lakelz will definitely fall. This could be a rocky fight for Sig.Trust to continue to take here, as they did start at 4v5. Their Beastmaster's already down. Zeus on the high ground will just try to TP out, and Yules is there to interrupt. It's going to be bad news bears for him. Boombell gets caught as well, and it's about a team wipe the other way. Earth Spirit survives, but Fnatic wipe him up.
Yeah, Ohio showing that Ned is not the only carry on his team. DJ will help as well, as Mid1 has got his Dagon now. I'll probably pick up Dagon 2 here in the near future. And this shouldn't be another Rax. They are even going to buy back on MyPro. They don't want to have to buy back on the aim, so they buy back on him. They lose the Radiant Courier. Where did that fall? It died right here, up at this top lane. They had vision. I think there was something going to the secret shop.
They had a 600 gold net worth. Who unbound my courier hotkey? That's weird.
It was a Shiva's Guard recipe on the courier. I think it was heading to the secret shop to buy the plate mill or Mystic Staff or whatever. But,
well, not the biggest loss, perhaps. This is Roche number 2 now. Fnatic just moved right into the pit and should be able to grab this one uncontested. AM still down for another 10 seconds or so. And just no easy way for Sig.Trust to get out of the base. But we've got a much more even game on our hands. Fnatic still with a 5-figure net worth lead here, but that last fight showing us that this lead is still not insurmountable. Without proper positioning, Fnatic can still get wiped up in these team fights. The Aegis, hopefully they can do more with this one. The first Aegis just kind of expired after the barracks fell, so I think this will be the sign to get aggressive.
That Aegis was one of the reasons why they didn't want to fight or buy back with the aim into that mid push, which was super helpful, I think. But yeah, you saw the last fight bottom, and that was pretty indicative of the fact that Sig.Trust can still win a team fight easily. But what also is indicative of how Fnatic come back, and even after Lakelz gets the kill on net, they still take a gigantic team fight, and they get right back to where they were before, which is a 15,000 net worth lead. Now they're even further ahead of what they were before. Ohio, I'm sure, is going to be picking up probably a Hex, which is huge this game, obviously, against the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, this is exactly the build he likes to go for. Right-click centric with a lot of utility. Once you get Hex Orchid, it actually gives the Prophet a huge amount of right-click. He's already hitting for nearly 200 in auto attack, and all that extra int he'll get from the Hex is going to make a big difference. Also, the Ags now out on DJ's Enchantress, not forced into a BKB, and Puck's got a Dagon that he's leveling up. It's already level 2, so even more burst damage to just pick somebody off before the fight even really starts.
Yeah, that Boombell's not going to live very long, or the Zeus for that matter. I mean, they're going to get just destroyed by the combo from mid-1. The smoke's going to come out from Fnatic, however. Everybody's in the base of Sig.Trust, so... and also, they don't have Ohio, but he can TP in at a moment's notice. This shouldn't be anything too spectacular for Fnatic unless there's an error and Sig.Trust just walk out of the base. But I don't see this turning into a kill. They could try to jump on Lakelz, but everyone is behind him. So this is kind of dangerous.
And they don't have vision uphill as well. They don't have any wards down in this area, the Dire, I mean. So they see Lakelz here, but they know his teammates are nearby. Oh, Dream Coil swap in. A brilliant setup. They bring him down quick. They lose their Vengeful Spirit, but it's a well worth it trade. Boombell taking a lot of damage from net, and will just get chopped down. A 3-for-1, conceding only their support Vengeful Spirit. One buyback across the 3 dead heroes on Sig.Trust. AM will use it, and they'll have a 4v3.
I'm not sure that really can accomplish. They don't have Roar anymore. They don't have CM ulti. And they don't have Zeus ulti, which they just used. This Veil is going to have to do a lot of work.
I don't know that it'll do much, but I think they had to. If they lose another lane of barracks, this game gets super, super difficult. And at least with the Kells nearby, with the Mana Void still available, it's going to make Fnatic kind of think twice about just diving into the base. And actually, Fnatic will just back out. They completely repel.
Yeah, and that took too much damage there once the Veil was up. Maybe needed a Blade Fury earlier. His healing ward wasn't able to heal him back up to full. They don't have any other heal really other than Nature's Attendance, which they didn't use there. They wanted to save it perhaps.
That setup was sick though, dude.
Yeah, that was nuts. You talking about the swap back, right?
Yeah, like the coil into swap back. So there's like, what do you do if you're the AM right there? I mean, I guess you just don't position yourself that far forward, but it's a really cool way to initiate that fight.
He thought he was safe, right? Because everyone's behind him. He's thinking, my team can help me if I get jumped on, and I can get my Manta off. But little does he know is that that's a setup that is going to make it so he's disabled no matter what, and then after that, they can easily go to work with all of the burst damage they have, including
Looking at the replay, it's like Fnatic's vision, they're completely dark. All they see is the anti-mage, and they do it so fast that it pulls Sig.Trust out of the base before they're really ready for it. And god damn it, I'm failing at production, man. Okay, there we go. We're back in. Team fight breaking out.
No, there's not.
No,
it was
just
Net and the Illusions going toe-to-toe. Net realizing he can't actually man-fight the anti-mage. Not yet, and maybe not ever, but...
I shouldn't have put the instant replay scene right next to the commercial scene.
Did you hit the commercial? Yeah,
for about half a second there. Yeah, I probably heard the overwhelming
music.
Bum bum bum. 188. Sorry about that, folks. That's my bad. This game's exciting, man. My hands are going a flurry. I'm just clicking left and right. What else can you do?
At the very least, it looks like we'll probably see a fourth game one way or another, unless Fnatic have a monumental collapse here, because they continue to get a lead and net worth up to 20,000. 20,000 not insurmountable, and there's so much gold in all these towers saved up if Sig.Trust can get there. And they have the Necro 3 now. They have a Veil up and ready to go. It's going to come down to the push right now. We'll see if they lose this Rax. I don't think we find a team fight, and that's going to go high ground with the Aegis up. They might just pop the Veil again.
Yep. Still plenty of time on the Aegis. It looks like actually not that much time. Less than a minute. So they are on the clock here. There is a Radiant Glyph available.
Good Blade Fury there. That'll give him the tier 3 tower.
And they Glimmer Cape him as well. Keep him safe from the Veil.
That Veil is dangerous. It's right off cooldown now as well. The active duration for the Veil is how long? Let's see, duration is...
It's got a lot
16
of
seconds.
Yeah.
So it's only down for 4 seconds. Jump and roar onto DJ. Now they get the Necros off, but a Dream Coil onto 3. They hex up Kells as well. Can they bring him down? It's going to be a great ulti for the CM, but she dies almost instantly. They lose the AM on top of it all. Japs is going to come back into the buyback, looking for 3-4-3 in mid one. He's going to find the Jug, and he might find more than that as well. Min1 will use himself up in this fight, not looking that great all of a sudden for Fnatic. Min1's going to stay alive. He'll be able to blink out even further, but there's going to be the Axes. Great phase shift. He's got a loose through Urban too, but he's dead. They jump in with the Boulder Smash and silence up, and so Jabs gets a double kill. He has to buy back for it. They lost the AM, but...
A strikingly good hold, though. A 3-for-3 with the buyback. I mean, you never want to use a buyback. They lose their tier 3 tower, but now that the Aegis is gone, Sig.Trust hang on a little bit longer. Nice blink into the tree line here from Abba. They're trying to find him. They get off the Hex. They'll actually get this kill. A dieback now on the Beastmaster. Oh, no, pardon me. It was the Earth Spirit that bought back. It's just a death on the Beastmaster, but that's a nice little recovery kill there at the end.
I think if you're Fnatic, I think you have to think about getting BKBs, just because the Zeus ult, the Earth Spirit is doing... I mean, ES... is having a great game. He's level 15, by the way, so he's one level away from getting his third ultimate point, which magnetized level 3 is pretty damn nice. It doesn't scale the greatest, but it's still very good. Blink's also a very good choice for that Nature's Prophet, but I think at some point, you know, maybe after you try pushing and maybe you fail your push 2 or 3 times, you have to decide, okay, we need a BKB. I know we have Blade Fury on our Juggernaut, but we have to think about getting that big annoying item, that Black King bar, and they're going to go for it again, I think, in the top lane. I'm pretty sure they're just going to head straight on down that top lane and look for either a fight or...
I mean, I don't know who would pick it up, but I think a pipe is more than warranted for Fnatic this game. We'll hold that thought, though, as Jabs gets initiated on up top. 3-4-3, swaps on in, but he turns to the Magnetize, connects on 3 damage from the Zeus, just obliterates Fnatic. Vengeance Juggernaut dies straight away, and now the rest of the fight unfolds. Lakel's taking big damage, pops the Manta, but he wants to go in for more. It's going to cost him his life. A bit ambitious on that one. My Pro as well going to get left behind, and what started as a brilliant fight for Sig.Trust ends up going the way of Fnatic. A buyback instantly on the Zeus. It's a 3v2 on the field, and they do still have a Primal Roar, but this top lane of Barracks is exposed.
so sloppy, but it's working because they're so far ahead. It's actually kind of ridiculous. They even hex up my pro, buyback on the CM, who had a great ulti, as you mentioned. I think you leave if you're Fnatic now. Yeah, they're going to back out. Mid one's going to get away. You're forcing out so many buybacks. You're making sure the AM is not getting any farm. I mean, he's got that Manta. He has not gotten another item since then. So Fnatic can kind of afford to play with their food, even if they lose net a couple of times. It's just, you have to hope that the rest of your team can come through. And this Nature's Prophet and this mid one puck are doing more than enough to carry their load. Yeah. In fact, the Nature's Prophet is now top of the net worth salary.
It's scary. I mean, this is... I'm still shocked at how well Sig.Trust are hanging on. It's a 25K net worth deficit, 14K experience deficit, and they're still taking these fights. And that last engagement, let's just cue up the replay here and just look at how fast the Juggernaut died. He's so farmed. I mean, the Prophet is more farmed like you were talking about, but how quickly they turned this around was just staggering.
I think Net needs... I talked about BKB. I wouldn't be shocked if he went Scotty also. One of those two items would be a fine choice.
Yeah, just the extra stats, get a little extra meat on those bones. And so let's take a look here. Jabs is just trying to de-ward. He kills the ward, and they go, oh, look, it's a free kill on this this Earth Spirit here. But Veil, Magnetize, Zeus ult, and Net just... That's it. Say goodnight, good sir.
So now,
they end up getting
especially after what you just said, I'm inclining to believe he's going to go for a BKB at some point. But
yeah,
who the hell knows? And that's probably like, I'm having fun. I don't give a damn what I build. It's honestly, it's all the same to me.
It's like you never want to get BKB on Jug because you feel like you got it covered with the Blade Fury. But I totally agree. I think some games it's just warranted, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Who could get a pipe if they were so inclined?
Interest maybe. She has a Moonchar, by the way. Just
yeah.
throwing that out there.
I mean, dude, pipe next item on her. It's not very conventional, but I think it would be really good. Now that pipe gives you that aura, I feel like it's an item that's hard to pass up when you're against so much AoE magical damage like this.
I was surprised they didn't get it last game, to be honest, against the Zeus and the Spectre.
It's still a forgotten about item, even with all the buffs now. That Hood has an active, and I pains me a little bit that pipe is still an underloved item, man.
I've seen like 30 games where somebody will have Hood of Defiance. They'll be getting ganked by a lot of magical heroes. They just don't use that shell because they don't know it exists. By the way, mid one with great reaction time, knows something's up. The smoke broke underneath that ward almost, and he was actually able to scout it out and stay alive in the process. Roche, by the way, is back up, and I like that Sig.Trust are making this play to try to get over and contest that Roshan, but I don't know if they can really get anything done here.
This is Roche 3, so it is kind of a big deal. Of course, Aegis and Chi is available for the taking. They might bump into mid one here. One thing to keep in mind as well, that if Sig.Trust can manage to regain some momentum here, they've only killed one tower, the tier 1 in the bottom lane. So if they start to regain control of the map, they'll be able to knock down these towers and get a huge influx of gold. It's like those little money bags that are just waiting to be claimed in the late game. So that could be a reality here and could help them regain momentum. But, we got a piggy. Jabs gets caught. The Dagon comes out, and they just obliterate the Earth Spirit. He tries to use the Ghost Scepter, but it's not enough. A nice Omni Slash from the Jug, jumping around the back lines, brings down the Zeus. He doesn't have a buyback. Both heroes that are dead are in the grave, make it 3, and this could actually be close to the GG moment. Lakells goes in, brings down the Prophet. Maybe he can clean up this fight, and oh my gosh, he will. 3-4-3, out of mana, soon to be out of health, but Jug brings down the healing ward, and the lone survivor, the Juggernaut, or pardon me, the Anti-Mage is on the run, and he won't be surviving for long. They turn him into a piggy, and he does go down. Buybacks now, 2 available on Sig, and 1 for Fnatic. Prophet will use it. I don't see a way for Sig.Trust to defend this one, though, Maud. This is feeling like a GG moment.
Especially without the Zeus for 50 seconds and the Earth Spear for 25. They'll buy back on the AM, but he really can't. He has to just watch and stop the push that's coming out in the top lane.
He doesn't even have an ult.
This is going to be almost certainly Megas, I think, at this point in time. They'll have mid one clear up the bottom lane of Brax. The Ohio Nature's Prophet's going to work on this top lane now with Net coming in. And Roche is up if they want it back. The Beastmaster will buy back. And this is the best they can do. They have Earth Spirit up in 1 second, but they won't be able to get in position to defend this. It's going to be a full set of Megas.
Yep. Mega creeps are out, and now things get extra difficult for this Radiant side. And there it is. GG gets called. That last fight, I think the Jug is really what sealed the deal. That Omni Slash was just perfect.
Yeah,
it connected on those 3 in the back line, and the Zeus did actually nothing. He just got killed by Omni Slash cleaves.
I felt like the Zeus needed Euls or Ghost Scepter or something like that. I'm not sure if he had Euls at the end of the game. I know he had that Veil early on. His farm was stifled pretty heavily. He had to buy back at least once or twice. Yeah. What did he have at the end? Did he have? He had a Blink Dagger, so that's not going to help him. So yeah, I mean, he needed some way to deal with the Omni Slash. If you go Ghost Scepter though, there's so much magical damage as you saw. The Earth Spirit got destroyed by Magic Missile at the end of the engagement.
Yeah.
So Fnatic they put the pressure on. They had a great pushing strategy. The Nature's Prophet came in. They had a very good start at the beginning of the game, and Fnatic they made it so Sig.Trust just lost too much there at the beginning of the game, and it was the trade-off was, okay, we got free farm on our anti-mage, but we lost so much in the process of doing so. They had one or two good fights, and if you imagine how close, if they were just a bit closer in terms of net worth, and that one team fight happened bottom, maybe it swings wildly and goes in Sig.Trust's way. But either way, it's still a 1-1 tied-up series now, Zayori.
Absolutely. From best of 5 to best of 3 as we move into Game 3. Great execution from Fnatic and smart drafting as well. I don't think Sig.Trust really wanted to play anti-mage there. It's not the style that they've been finding success with recently, and Fnatic knew exactly how to put pressure on that weak point. So things just heating up here, folks. Game 3 coming up after this break. I'm Zayori. He's Mott. Thank you so much for joining us. We're coming right back after this.